Hey guys, what's up? It's ToastyFPV. Welcome back to my channel. Excuse me. Today we're going to be going through racing. So as you can see, we have a couple of bots flying past us here. We're going to be working on flying through gates and just kind of practicing getting used to that. Our first video was on the basics. Our second video was on acro, and then we went over shortly kind of what freestyle is and kind of how you can create your own flows to make things look nice. Today we're gonna go through the basics of flying through gates. So as you can see here, we're on the very first level. We have quite a few gates here that we're going to be going through. Sorry if I have some shoddy flying today. This is like my first time touching the controller all day. But so you can kind of see the track we're working on. We're going to be practicing going through these gates. Not necessarily working on going through them super fast. We're just going to be kind of working on how to get through them. So with that being said, let's start off at the beginning. So the first one, what we practiced before, we worked on, getting to our hover state, getting to that threshold where we can kind of hover, and we practiced utilizing our roll and our pitch to kind of get our drone where we wanted it to go. So, for instance, we were using the barn before, so we pointed at the barn, and we might add a little bit of roll, and then we'll use a little bit of yaw to look that same direction. That'll give us that smooth, nice turn, right? And just like before, you can see I'm not modifying the throttle very much. Now, the reason it's important to be practicing this part first, well, besides the fact that it's, that it looks nice and it's going to help you practice how to get through things, it's going to be everything that you use to get through these gates. Now, you don't have to go through these gates super fast. You just have to get through them, right? So at first, they might look a little sloppy getting through, but it doesn't matter. You're going to utilize that pitch, you're going to utilize that roll and that yaw. So you're going to give it a little bit of roll and you're going to look. Keep it going until you want to line it up, and then a little bit of roll, yaw, straighten it back up, right? You got to keep that same throttle. Give it a little bit of roll, and I'm just giving a little bit of yaw right now. So there we go. Just nice, smooth, fluid movements. Actually went a little bit too low right there. Let's level it off. Roll a little bit, yaw. And sometimes you're going to have to roll a bit hard, right, to really keep yourself, or to really slow yourself down enough to make that turn. So as you can see, you don't have to be going super fast to make it through these gates. Right now you should be practicing just utilizing that roll, utilizing that yaw enough to get you through. And sometimes we're going to have to add just a bit throttle. So like we'll speed it up a little. That way when we get down here we have to turn a little sharper. So we'll give it a bit more throttle right here. Just kind of speed it up a little. And then same thing, hard turn. Let's go ahead and add a little throttle, bring it back, and roll back into the next one. So you're just going to keep that steady balance between the two. No super sharp turns, just giving yourself enough, giving yourself enough throttle and enough roll and yaw, just enough to get your quad to turn, right? So let's go ahead and just do that. Keep it, and if you're about to ever hit it, and you're turning right, just give it a bit more throttle. And also it helps you with sharpening those turns up is, let's say you do go a bit too fast through a gate, you need to turn faster. You're going to pull back on your stick. That way it kind of, creates more of a circle, because if you're adding throttle and you're pulling back on the stick, that's what's going to have that nice circle around it. And it's the same thing around here. You're only going to be doing it for a split second though. Going fast, pull back while giving it some throttle. You're good to go. Pull back, give it some throttle. Roll. Forget. And if you guys are looking at my sticks, you'll see I'm not going super crazy. I'm just barely touching those sticks to get it through these gates. That's going to keep you from flipping the quad out and, reacting too quickly. Just minimal stick input while you're practicing getting through these gates. It doesn't have to be fast. And you'll notice that as you keep doing it, you're going to start remembering where the gates are, and then you can start reacting just slightly faster. And of course, as you raise your camera, that's also going to add to the speed of your drone too. Now, of course, one thing to take into account is that if you are using a high camera angle, that the stick input kind of swaps. So, meaning that like your yaw and roll will kind of like switch positions, making it where your yaw actually does what your roll did, and then your roll does what the yaw did, And then pitch is still important and everything, but you're gonna notice that those are the ones that are mostly swapped. And same thing, you're just gonna get into your little. I like doing infinite races for practicing because it kind of lets you get into a flow of getting used to those sticks. And there's not like you're not really truly racing anyone else. And you can see how fast your people go, your bots, and you can do your best to like slowly climb the speed ladder there. Start speeding up a little bit. If we do that, we want to raise our camera angle just a bit. And here, let me actually show you that. So if I raise the camera angle, let's say to like 50, well actually, let's keep it at that 30 for a second. I just want to show you something. So if we come over here, look at these sticks. So when I use roll, obviously that's going to roll the quad, right? And then when I use yaw, that's going to do like allow us to look left or right. Well, whenever we have a high camera angle, when I said that they kind of switched, right? So check this out. So notice that whenever I'm rolling, actually, yeah, I guess it's still kind of doing it at this angle. I'm used to a bit higher, so I'm usually when I'm racing probably around 60, 65 degrees. There we go. Now watch this. So as I'm going 65 degrees or 60 degrees, when I hit the yaw, it kind of rolls the quad, you see? And then when I do a my roll stick, it turns the quad. So together, you're still going to do what we've been learning, right? Which is looking left and right, using the same angle on both sticks. So if I'm going left on one, I'm going left on the other, right? But of course, as you're going faster, this is a little bit harder to work with, but they just kind of swap. So it'll allow you to kind of, I need to maybe speed this up. It's been a little bit since I've raced here, so let's try that again. You have to keep it a little bit faster for this one. Should have grabbed my race quad. Now let's go down just slightly. This might be, as you can see, it's in red, so it's a bit too high of an angle for this quad, but yeah. What is the amount? So it looks like 50 degrees, but the max we can get it on this one. There you go. Let's make, yeah. So let's listen to the quad, right? It knows what can keep it in the air or not. And as you guys can see that, like when I get towards the ground, I have to apply a bit more throttle to keep the quad in the air. And now we're going pretty fast. As you can see, the stick inputs are still pretty minimal. I mean, I'm not doing much on the stick inputs. So you can see that it really doesn't take a lot whenever you're doing high input. I mean, you still, yeah, you have more speed, but your amount of modifying the sticks really isn't changing very much. Now, I recommend, you know, this honestly isn't even one of the easiest maps. It is one of the first ones they make you do, but the gates are pretty hard to go through when learning, which is why I recommend you doing that slow. At first, you're focusing more on the roll and the turn, so just go a steady speed and practice more on being able to modify your quad to get right where you need it. By applying that roll and then slowly looking with the yaw right after. So roll the direction you want to go and then yaw that same direction. Consistent throttle, that way it pushes you around the turn and it keeps your drone in the air, but it doesn't have to be fast. Alright, let's try a different map here. So we'll go ahead and just pop into a different level for a second. Maybe something with, let's say, trees. Or you know what? This one has some pretty big gates. So this one might even be a great one to learn on, even better than the one we were just doing. Give that a second to load up. Alright, same thing. So get your drone moving. Steady speed. Roll and yaw. Roll and yaw. As you can see, it's a very smooth and steady turn. This gives you, and there's no like small gates you have to go through, so as long as you hit the blue square, you're good. That'll allow you time to really calculate how you want to turn it. So right here is going to be a big one, so let's turn, and then we go that way. There we go. And look at the throttle, not really modifying it much, keeping it pretty steady. As you can see, I'm pulling back a little bit. Some of those sharper turns are going to have to not only roll, but you're going to have to pull, pitch back a little bit. That way your drone goes into that circle. That's actually what's really good about this map is since you have that road underneath you, it kind of helps you figure out how exactly your drone is turning. The smoothness of like the turn itself, like right here. You know that if you go too far this way, you have to like jerk back and all that stuff. You can tell that it's jerky. So as long as you're just following the road at a consistent speed, it makes it a little bit easier to calculate how much roll and how much pitch, how much everything you need. Just going nice and steady. Dip harder and then again. There you go. Push forward a little bit or pitch forward a little bit. That's to get a little bit of speed on there. And then as you can see, this isn't going to change much whenever you're going fast. So look, we will actually go back to the, I think it was 50 is what it allowed us. Yeah, okay, so 50. You might need a bit more speed. And whenever you want to slow down, you're going to pitch back. But as you can see, I mean, once you're flying fast, it's kind of the same thing. You'll notice that both, even though my throttle is all the way up, it's still slightly being tipped towards the direction of wherever my pitch and roll currently are. Nice and smooth. Oh, that one was not nice and smooth as I say that. And this is what you're going to do. Of course, this drone is not the absolute best for this particular thing. Oop, I missed that. Let's go ahead and pop into a race drone. I have a couple here. I have one that one's a bit too fast. We'll try it though. Alright, so it looks like we're at 60 at this one. Yeah, oh yeah, this one flies on rails. So same thing with some of these more super sensitive quads, you gotta really give it that little, like just as little input as you can when it comes to the sticks. So you can see like the slightest input gets my drone to fly, like it just reacts so quickly. Ooh, that would have been a crash. Let's see if we can beat the guy on the timer right quick. I'm only kind of, to be honest with this drone, going so fast, I'm only kind of modifying the right stick. Ooh, well, we both know. We all know that the drone would have crashed right there in real life. It would have been done. Yep. Alright. Give it one more shot here with the fast drone, just so you guys can take a look at the stick inputs again. Let's see. Doing a little bit better this time. Slow down a little bit. Here we go. Whoa, it glitched. It's like actually frame dropped or something right there. That was odd. There we go. Yeah, now we beat him. A bit better, a bit more into the flow now. Took a second to get used to the drone's speed in comparison to my freestyle drone. That even beat our first one. Alright, last lap. Keep it at a side angle so it doesn't take these turns. Yeah, if I don't get the gas, I'm not at least my first one, or my second one. Oh! Alright. Well, there's that. So, that's kind of what you're going to do to practice, you know, kind of go through, do those. You're going to really focus on your rolls and your yaw. Of course, you're going to have a way lower, you're probably going to be right around here when it comes to your camera angle, maybe even slightly less, which is fine, but you're going to focus more on the roll. And the this one is really reactive at the same angle. I would really probably be better if I continued on the high camera angle with this one, because I built it to go straight line. Alright, anyway guys, I appreciate you all watching. If you have any more questions or any particular thing you'd like to go over, let me know. I'm also going to start doing specific like trick series, I guess you could say, a Trictionary, going through doing particular freestyle videos that might be helpful, like how to do, for instance, inverted yaw spins or something like that. Anyway, thank you for watching. You guys have yourselves a good one.